nobody really talks to you about this in happiness. Like, no one is going to explain this thing that I'm going to explain in the way that I will explain it. And when I explain it to you, you're gonna be like, holy frick, this guy's right. This is genuinely the secret to happiness. So, what do I mean? It, by controlling your attention, I don't mean, oh, I'm gonna focus, put my complete attention towards this homework. I'm gonna write down all the questions. I'm gonna put my phone away. I'm not gonna talk to any family and friends. I'm just gonna put my full focus on this for 2 hours, and my mental health and my peace will improve because of my focus. Not necessarily. That's how you control your attention for happiness. In order to control your attention for true happiness, you need to adopt optimism. So, there's this thing in the human brain called the negativity bias. And anytime you have the negativity bias, you will feel unhappy. Like, optimism, excitement for the future is happiness. And negativity bias is the enemy of optimism. So, if you have a negativity bias in your brain, you'll actually be more unhappy because it is the enemy of happiness. So then how do you get rid of it? What even is it in the first place? So negativity bias is assuming that the worst will happen as soon as like some missing information is there. So for example, you're a caveman and you're in your tribe and there's like a bush. It suddenly moves and it's like really intense. The caveman isn't going to immediately assume, oh yeah, that's my friend behind the bush there. He's just picking the berries. I don't need to worry about anything. He's not thinking that because what he's really thinking is, oh frick, there's a tiger behind there. Guys, look, it might be a tiger. Get your spears. Let's get ready. Like, it's a negative assumption. There's some missing information, which is who's behind the bush, and we just immediately assume the worst threat. We just assume that. And you'll notice there's like a difference between those two assumptions. The positive assumption of the friend is more peaceful, grateful, even excited to see them. But the negative assumption is like it gives this feeling of terror, of dread, like things are going to get worse in the future and we have to get ready. We have to be fearful. We're going to get anxious. And if you're a caveman, then it's actually a good thing that you assume the worst. Because if you didn't, like imagine you thought it was your friend behind the bush and the tiger really was there, then you would have died. It's actually a good thing for you to have negativity bias as a early human. But nowadays in the modern society, that is so not true. If you have this negativity bias, you assume the worst of all things, you will not only be more unhappy, you'll also be less successful. Because really, in order to be happy, you need the happiness advantage, which is what I will preach to you in this channel. So make sure you subscribe below. So, how do we get rid of this negativity bias? We need to first understand the everything exists theory, which I came up myself. If you really think about it, like every aspect exists in a situation. Like imagine like you have a you have a circle in a piece of paper. I made a circle and I split it into four. And then two of those things have P on it, and then two of the other things have an N on it. If you really think about it, everything exists inside that circle. In all four sections, there are two positives and two negatives. Both the positive and the negative things exist. It's not that the negative exists and the positive doesn't, or the positive exists and the negative doesn't. They both exist at the same time. So what do I mean? What do I mean? How does this relate to increasing our happiness? It's like, for example, there were two salesmen that were sent to like an African place or a European place. The first salesman said to his boss, situation hopeless. They don't wear shoes. But the second salesman, he says to his boss, yo, it's a glorious opportunity. They don't wear shoes. It's weird. Like, in both situations, nothing really changed. In both situations, the people that they wanted to sell to, they don't wear shoes. Except one said situation hopeless, one said glorious opportunity. So what changed between them? It was their attention. The first guy who said the situation was hopeless, uh, they don't wear shoes, therefore, if we sell it to them, then they won't buy it from us. That's negativity bias. He's paying attention to the two ends of the circle. But the other salesman, he's paying attention to the two other P's of this uh situation circle. He's thinking to himself, he's paying attention to the scenario. Oh, they don't have shoes. So if we give it to them, then it's going to be really easy to convince them because there's no competition. All right, let's be excited. Let's be motivated. Let's do this work. If you really think about it, both exist at the same time. Everything exists. Theory. There there is a very real and possible chance that these African people don't wear shoes and they will reject the shoes that they sell them. But at the same time, there's also a very real and possible chance that because they don't wear shoes, they'll see it and it's new and they like it, so they will accept what they've been sold. In Filipino, we call that tanggapin. So they'll tanggap the shoes. And so if you really think about it, it's not really about, oh, you need to ignore all the negative things and you need to always just look at for the positive. It's like the positive and the negative, they both exist at the same time in this circle. Both the negative and the positive aspects of the situation exist at the same time. Everything exists, theory. So between the two salesmen, one was hopeless and even like pessimistic and disappointed. Disappointed is a very like common emotion for depressed people to have. That was the emotion that I used to have. But nowadays it's getting better, which I will teach you. But the other salesman, he felt actually hopeful, excited, enthusiastic. Even like he wanted to talk to his boss. He didn't feel ashamed in talking to his boss. So, what's the difference between the two of them? What do you need to do in order to be excited and happy and optimistic like the other salesman? You need to pay attention to the two P's of the situation circle and to direct it away from the ends and put it towards the P's. And no one can deny you. Like, they both exist. You just, the thing that actually creates emotion in you and motivation in you is just what you pay attention to. Both the negative and the positive mindset exists. It's just the positive and the negative emotion only comes when you pay attention to the positive aspects or the negative aspects. So I'll tell you a story. I remember my friend in school, he came up to me. He had a smile on his face, and he was like, "Yo, Buffy, listen to this. Are you Subway? Because you turned my 6 inch into a foot long." And then after that, he spams another one. Oh, are you spaghetti? Because I want you to meet my balls. That was so funny. But in my mind, I was kind of disappointed because I was thinking to myself, Bro, this joke isn't really productive. Like, one of the ways in order to become productive is to always obsess over your goals. And this joke took up mental space and took away my obsession over my goals. So I'm going to be less productive. I'm going to make less work. Bro, I feel so disappointed. That's true. The joke made me more unproductive. It filled my mind with more unproductive thoughts. But after that, I asked myself in my mind, what is the positive aspect of this situation? I know the negative aspect already. No one needs to tell me. I need to know what the positive aspect is. It exists. I know that everything exists. So after I answered that question, I was laughing and even grateful to be with my friend because I realized I have friends who care about me. These laughs I'm having are engaging the happiness advantage. So I'm more productive. At least it isn't a racist joke. At least I feel included in this group, even if it's not like the most productive. And I'm gonna use this story, this joke as as a story one day for my YouTube videos, which is happening right now. And so you know the everything exists theory is true, and you'll realize that all those positive aspects of the situation that I recited to you, they are true. They exist. They're fact. Just like how the negative aspects of the situation, where it's making me less productive, that's also true. They're both true. But the thing that actually manifests into reality is what your mind pays attention to. That's what I mean by the thumbnail. How you control your attention for happiness is to move your sight from the two ends of this circle to the two P's of the circle, to move your attentional spotlight. Because both aspects, P and N, they have the potential to become reality. But the thing that actually becomes reality is what your brain chooses to pay attention to. No one explains it this way. And I guarantee you, with my word, like you can trust my word, if you start to use this technique more, you will feel more happy. You will feel like just so genuinely like happy. Like you're gonna I promise you, right after this video, you're gonna be thinking to yourself, what's a situation where I felt hopeless? And what are the positive aspects of that situation? What are the P's of the circle? And then you're gonna find out and you're gonna be like, yo, that is actually true. Buffy was right. Like you'll feel like this almost like it's almost like a light that's coming up from within. Like you feel like this slight excitement. It starts off like a small spark, but the more you use this, the bigger it will get. And you're like gonna be, and the bigger it gets, you're gonna be thinking to yourself, damn, this guy was right. Like I guarantee you, if you are diligent in practicing the principles that I'll teach in this channel, you will feel happier. Therefore, click subscribe, watch daily. So then how do you actually practice removing the negativity bias and actually switching your attention to the positive? Because telling you that happiness is looking at the positive things isn't necessarily the actual cure for happiness. Just like how me telling you that a tumor is when the part of the DNA is corrupted, that's a cancer cell. I'm telling you what a cancer is, but I'm not telling you how to cure it. So now you know what happiness actually is, optimism, which is coming from putting your attention towards it. So then how do you gain it? How do you practice it? So the first thing that you'll do, the first habit that you'll do is to gratitude journal, which you've probably learned from Hamza Ahmed. The first thing you got to do every single day, like Be every as soon as your eyes open, before you go to work or school, get a piece of a pencil, a paper as soon as you wake up, by the way, and you write down gratitude journal, and you put the date beside it. So today is November 1, 2025. I'll put the date beside that. I'll put 1, I'm grateful for this mic. 2, I'm grateful for this pencil. 3, I'm grateful for this MCGI jacket. 4, I'm grateful for the magnesium glycinate that I took earlier. 5, I'm grateful for the happiness advantage. 6, I'm grateful for this light up here. 7, I'm grateful for my glasses. I'm grateful for everything. Like, I am grateful for everything in my life. Praise you, my Lord, for in the darkness you always give me light all the time, and I'm not a day afraid anymore. So that's gratitude journaling. You just say what you're grateful for, what you're thankful for. So I'm grateful for this camera. I'm grateful that I went outside earlier. I'm grateful for singing. I'm grateful for whatever. Just whatever small aspect, just every single day as soon as you wake up, 5 things at least that you write down. 5 things that you're grateful for. And it will take you about 2 weeks for you to notice the full benefit of this. That's the first step. The first habit that you need to adopt for the positivity bias. The second thing that you can adopt is, what's the positive aspect of the situation, which I told you earlier. Anytime you find yourself in a situation where you feel like hopeless or you feel unhappy, just ask yourself, what's the positive aspect of this situation? Like, the negative aspect exists and the positive, they both exist. But the positive will only happen if I always put my attention towards it. So then what is it? For example, if you're feeling hopeless because you know that the exam is coming up and you haven't studied for it yet, what's the positive aspect? So maybe the positive aspect is, even if I fail this exam and my parents get mad, it's like, it's okay. I'm going to live. It's not like it's the end of my happiness. Like, I'm still going to have friends. Like, I can hang out with my friends just before the exam. Or if I fail my exam, that's actually a good thing because it's going to signal to my mind, like, damn, you need to actually take your studies seriously. So it's going to motivate me to do better. So it doesn't really matter if I fail now, as long as it helps me to move forward and it motivates me. Or, you know, the positive aspect of the situation is, I have a really kind teacher. So if he sees that my grade is really low, then he's not gonna be like other all my past teachers who was like scolding me and everything, calling my parents. They're like, so this is the problem. I can help you with this if you want. It's really easy. This is the answer, and it's just you gotta keep practicing this part. Like, that's the positive aspect. So that's protocol number 2. What's the positive aspect of the situation? The positivity will only happen and manifest into reality if I pay attention to it. And you'll be so surprised at how effective this is. Same with gratitude journaling. And then the third is another journaling practice. So not really self-reflection, but journaling. You get your notebook again, and then you'll ask yourself, why will things get better in the future for me? What can I be excited for? So for example, one of the things, why will things get better for Buffy in the future? Well, if I continue my intermittent fasting protocol for 2 more months, 3 more months, I'm gonna have more energy. My grades are gonna get better because my brain actually works. I don't have insulin resistance. Things will get better because I'm gonna get baptized, God willing, Things will get better in the future because I'm gonna like wake up tomorrow and I'm gonna record another video like this, and things will get better because I'm gonna like eventually in the future, God willing, write a ebook and I'm gonna sell it on this channel, and I can be excited for that. If you don't want to do this like third protocol because you expect nothing will get better, exactly. That's why you're stuck in pessimism. You're refusing to even attempt optimism. So at the very least, just attempt the number three. You journal. Why will things get better in the future for me? All this reminds me of that song by that guy. Because I'm happy, clap along if you feel like a room without a roof. Because I'm happy, clap along if you feel like happiness is the truth. Because I'm happy, clap along if you know what happiness is to you. Na 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 da, da. You know that song, right? From the Minions. And the last thing I'll leave you is happiness is really the only goal that exists in life. The only reason people want to be millionaires, or they want to get a girlfriend, or they want to take a vacation, they want to whatever material possession they want on earth or relationship they want to have, it's all ultimately because they believe that once I get this thing, I'll be happy. So it's really important for you to apply all these three protocols of the positivity bias in this video, because happiness really is the only thing that matters. Without it, life isn't worth living. Make life worth living. That's really good. I'm getting better at videos. All right. My mission, by the way, is to cure depression around the world. So if you really want to support me in my mission and you like what I do, you like my content, make sure to subscribe, you comment my videos, you like my videos, and you'll just share it to other people. See you.